Okay, now let's look at possible counters and defense. Okay, so when you throw your 1-2, you don't want to just sit there and admire your work. He's going to hit back. Okay, so let's think about what are the most common counters to a 1-2. Think about what do you do if somebody throws a 1-2 at you. You're probably going to parry, and come back with a straight right hand. Okay, so imagine that. I'm throwing my 1-2, bam, bam. Straight hand is coming straight back at me. Okay, so I have to think about what do I want to do there. I can slip to the outside. Okay, I can slip to this side. I can block. I can pull back and counter. Okay, I can duck. These are some of the things you can do. Okay, so let's look at those. First, let's look at slipping out to this side. Bam, bam, I'm protected. I want to drop my front shoulder 45 degrees forward here so the punch slips past my ear, and that puts me in a good place to come back with my own right uppercut, an elbow, a straight right hand, a body hook. That's up to you. Something from the right hand because your hips are loaded, ready to fire. Okay? My personal preference is an uppercut. So I go bam, 1-2, slip, boom. Now with slipping, one of the dangers in slipping in martial arts where you have kicks and knees and back fists is that if he fakes something and throws a kick, you can slip right into a kick. Okay? One of the ways to avoid that is only slip when you're in close, when you're close to your opponent, where you're crowding him, where it's too close for him to kick you. Okay? If you're at kicking range, slipping can be very dangerous. But if you're in tighter, slipping is a lot safer. So remember that. It's safer to slip when you're closer to your opponent rather when you're at a distance where you can get kicked. And if you've just touched him with your 1-2, then that means you're pretty close. If you've touched his guard, his defended with his 1-2, that means you're close and it's a good idea to slip. Okay? But even still, when I slip, I like to keep my outside hand a little bit higher up, just in case there's a spinning back fist or a kick or a knee coming. Okay? It just makes me feel a little bit safer. Okay? I like to drop this hand a little bit to my chin so that it lets his hand slip past a bit more easily. If my hand's up here, it can connect with his hand. I don't want it to be up here. You could just pull it in like this or drop it down a little bit. Okay? So 1-2, boom. Tip that shoulder. 1-2, boom. 1-2, boom. Another thing you can do is slip to the other side. This is my personal preference. After throwing a 1-2, if a straight right hand comes back at me, I like to slip to this side and let that straight right hand sail straight past me, straight past my head, putting me in a perfect position with my hips loaded to throw a body blow, like a good liver shot to someone who's just missed with a straight right hand. Here is nice and open. So I throw 1-2 and I slip, dropping my weight down over my lead leg, and then I come in with a liver shot. Boom. Okay, so it's boom, boom, slip, boom. Basically, after firing the 2, you just let your body weight drop. Boom. And then throw your punch. Your legs are loaded up, ready to really power it in. Okay? So, bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Shh, shh, shh. Shh, shh. Oh. Moving your head and your body around too much as you strike is a big cause of problems for some beginners, because they're always out of balance and it's hard for them to connect things together because they're always overreaching. Their body's moving around too much and they're easy to get countered because they can't get back into a position of balance where they can protect or fire again from. So they end up throwing 1, 2, and then that's it. And before they get back to stance, they're getting hit. So for beginners, intermediate level people, you want to think about coming back to stance, always being nice and protected, good technique, and coming back to stance with balance, ready to fire again. More advanced fighters, you may start to look at moving your head offline as you punch, okay? That's a very useful tool. By moving your head offline as you punch, you can avoid counters. But this is more for advanced students. You don't want to be doing this when as a beginner or an intermediate level martial artist. You want to get that good, solid, straight form first so that you have good balance, which will help you to connect techniques together, okay? And then once you have that, you can start looking at shooting with your head offline to avoid getting hit. Now, of course, all of these slips can also be used to get whichever hand he throws, and if he's a southpaw or an orthodox, it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting your head away from this center line after you punch, you gotta move that head, bam, bam, okay? And if you don't feel comfortable countering him, you can just circle away, okay? I go 1, 2, slip, and circle away. Get out of there, okay? 1, 2, slip, and circle away, okay? So practice these motions when you are doing your shadow boxing. Don't just be standing there 1, 2. What is that? When you're beginning, that's okay. But I'm talking about more advanced people here. Don't settle to just do the same old 1, 2, okay? Move your head, make angles, bam, bam, move around, okay? Have an exit strategy. Don't be a sitting duck for the counter, okay?
Here I am light sparring with one of my students. I'm using blocks, head movement, and footwork to make myself a difficult target. It doesn't matter if my opponent throws a counter or not. I'm constantly moving my head offline so that I'm not there right in front of him where it's easy for him to fire back. This can shut down his ability to counterattack you. Make use of this habit, moving your head both before and after throwing combinations, and you'll find yourself getting hit a lot less.
If you got something out of this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.